Hello everyone. What if I tell you trees can actually talk to each other underground? Your brain runs on less electricity than a light bulb, yet it's more powerful than many computers. And one tiny habit can literally rewire your brain for success. These are not theories, they are real scientific discoveries most people never learn. Today, I am sharing 11 unbelievable facts about your brain, nature, and human behavior. And fact number 7 might completely change how you think about success. Facts you didn't know. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing something you believed your entire life was incomplete. Not wrong, but incomplete. Sometimes the most powerful discoveries are not giant scientific breakthroughs. They are simple truths that were always there, quietly waiting to be noticed. Think about it. Every day we walk through the world surrounded by incredible mysteries. We breathe air without thinking about the complexity of life that created it. We use our brains without realizing they are one of the most advanced biological systems in the universe. We walk through forests without realizing those forests might actually be communicating. The world around us looks ordinary, but beneath the surface, it is extraordinary. Today, I am going to share 11 fascinating facts about science, the human brain, nature, and human behavior. Some of these facts will surprise you. Some may challenge what you believe. Some may change the way you see everyday life. But one of them, the fact number 7, may completely change how you think about success. And the final fact may leave you looking at the world in a completely different way. So stay with me because sometimes the smallest discoveries reveal the biggest truths, and the next fact you learn might change the way you see everything. Why humans love surprising facts. Have you ever noticed something interesting about your brain? Whenever you learn something unexpected, your attention instantly increases. A strange fact, a surprising statistic, a new discovery. Suddenly, your mind becomes alert. That reaction is not random, it is biological. Inside your brain, there is a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is often associated with motivation and the reward, but it also plays a powerful role in the curiosity. When your brain encounters something surprising or unfamiliar, dopamine increases. Your brain essentially says, this information might be important. Pay attention. This is one of the reasons humans have been able to progress as a species. Curiosity has driven the exploration. Curiosity has driven innovation. Curiosity has driven science. Without curiosity, humanity might never have discovered electricity, medicine, or space travel. But here is where an interesting debate begins. Some critics argue curiosity can also be dangerous. They believe curiosity can distract people from focus, jumping from one idea to another, always searching for something new. But neuroscience tells a different story. Research shows curiosity actually improves learning and memory. When we are curious, our brains absorb information more effectively. In other words, curiosity is not the enemy of focus. Curiosity is often the beginning of discovery. And every great breakthrough in human history began with a simple question: what if? Fact number one, your brain uses very little energy. Here is a fact that surprises many people. Your brain uses about 20 watts of power. 20 watts, that is roughly the same amount of electricity used by a small dim light bulb. Now think about what your brain can do with that tiny amount of energy. Your brain can create ideas, it can compose music, it can design cities, it can imagine the future, it can remember your childhood, it can learn languages, it can solve complex mathematical problems. And it can do all of this using less power than many household appliances. From an engineering perspective, this is astonishing. Modern computers often require hundreds of watts to perform complex tasks, yet the human brain performs billions of neural calculations every second using only about 20 watts. This reveals something profound. Human intelligence is not about raw energy, it is about efficiency. The brain contains roughly 86 billion neurons. Each neuron connects with thousands of others, forming trillions of neural connections. These networks constantly adapt and reorganize based on experience. This is what allows humans to learn. But here is an important question. If the human brain is so powerful, why do so many people feel limited? The answer may not be about intelligence. It may be about training. Just like muscles grow stronger through exercise, the brain grows stronger through its use. Learning new skills, reading new ideas, challenging your thinking, every time you stretch your mind, your brain literally reorganizes itself, which means one incredible possibility exists. Your brain today is not the same brain you will have 5 years from now. It is constantly evolving. Fact number two, trees communicate. Imagine walking through a forest. You hear the wind moving through leaves. You see sunlight filtering through branches. Everything seems peaceful, silent, but beneath the ground, an invisible network is active. Scientists discovered that tree roots are connected by fungal networks called mycorrhizal networks. These networks connect trees across entire forests. Through this underground system, trees can share nutrients, they can send warning signals, they can even help struggling trees survive. Researchers sometimes refer to this system as the wood vibe wave. Think about what that means. Instead of isolated organisms competing for survival, forests may behave more like cooperative communities. Older trees, sometimes called mother trees, have been observed sending nutrients to younger trees. When trees experience insect attacks or diseases, they can send chemical signals through these networks warning the neighboring trees. Those neighboring trees may then increase their defensive chemicals. In other words, we can say the forest communicates. This discovery completely changed how scientists view the ecosystems. Nature may be far more interconnected than we once believed. Sorry. And perhaps there is a deeper lesson here. Cooperation is not just a human idea, it is built into the nature itself. Some of the most stable and successful systems on Earth are not based purely on competition, they are built on connections. Fact number three, the myth of overnight success. We live in a world obsessed with successful stories. A startup suddenly becomes famous, an artist suddenly goes viral, an entrepreneur suddenly becomes wealthy. From the outside, it looks like success appeared overnight, but when you look deeper, you often discover something very different. Many so-called overnight successes took 10 to 20 years of preparation. The public sees the moment success becomes visible, but they rarely see the years before it. The failures, the uncertainty, the quiet learning. History is full of these stories. Many great inventors failed repeatedly before getting the success. Many successful entrepreneurs spent years refining their ideas. But because we only see the final moment, we develop unrealistic expectations. People begin believing success should happen quickly, and when it doesn't, they assume something is wrong. But real progress is rarely dramatic, it is gradual, invisible at first. Growth often happens quietly, which means if your progress is slow, you may not be behind. You may simply be in the phase where foundations are being built, and foundations determine how high something can rise. Fact number four, your habits shape your brain. One of the most fascinating discoveries in neuroscience is something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means your brain physically changes based on experiences. Every thought you repeat strengthens certain neural connections. Every behavior you repeat strengthens those pathways. In other words, your habits literally shape your brain. If you practice a skill every day, your brain becomes better at performing that skill. If you practice distraction every day, your brain becomes better at being distracted. This is why habits are so powerful. They are not just actions, they are biological programming. Over time, habits become identity. The small choices you make daily slowly shape the person you become, which means the future version of you is quietly being built by the habits you practice today. Fact number five, gratitude changes the brain. Gratitude might seem like a simple emotional habit, but neuroscience shows it has measurable effects on the brain. Regular gratitude practices can reduce the stress, improve the sleep, strengthen emotional resilience, and increase overall well being. But some critics argue gratitude encourages people to ignore problems. They say gratitude promotes unrealistic positivity. But research suggests something different. Gratitude does not deny challenges. Instead, it helps the brain balance perspectives. It allows people to recognize value even during the difficult times, and that perspective often strengthens resilience. Fact number six, failure created many discoveries. Many of humanity's greatest discoveries were accidents. Penicillin was discovered by accident. Microwave ovens were discovered by accident. Post-it notes were discovered after a failed experiment. Failure often opens unexpected paths, but society teaches us to fear failure, which prevents experimentation. Yet, history shows failure is often part of discovery. Sometimes, mistakes reveal opportunities we never planned. Fact number seven, environment shapes success. Your environment influences your behavior more than most people realize. Your surroundings affect motivation, focus, energy. The people around you shape your expectations. Your environment can either support growth or quietly limit it. This is why successful individuals often emphasize choosing environments carefully. Sometimes changing your environment changes your future. The power of small improvements. Small improvements compound. Improving 1% each day may seem insignificant, but over time, those small changes create extraordinary results. The problem is small improvements are invisible in the short term, which is why many people quit too early. Consistency often beats intensity. Today, we have explored fascinating facts about science, nature, and human behavior. But the most important lesson is this: the world is far more connected than it appears. Curiosity leads to discovery, discovery leads to knowledge, and knowledge opens possibilities. So never stop asking questions because the next fact you discover may change everything. Thank you. Bye bye.